You ever just sitting around and then boom, RPG kicks off and you are woefully underprepared. You have nothing, no pencils, no dice. What do? May I suggest the kit of many things, a Dungeons and Dragons / RPG survival kit. Hello people, my name is Fox Noct, I'm your traveling sales kobold, and today I'm here to show you the kit of many things, an RPG survival kit that I've been working on for about a week and a half or so. Essentially, it is a play on those little Altoid tin survival kit videos that you see all the time. This is the kit of many things. This is a take on that. Instead of it being survival stuff that you would need for breaking down in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Instead, it's a kit for RPGs. You can carry around in your backpack. It contains useful things for all types of games like Dungeons and Dragons, Dungeon Crawl Classics, which is a personal favorite of mine. This game rules. Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh! What do you need in Yu-Gi-Oh? Knives? It does have other things that you can use, and let's get right into it, shall we? So you might notice the kit of many things is in this very cool little plastic box. This is a photo box that you can buy at Michael's for about $1.70 something. They retail for $2.99, but they always have a 40% coupon running, so this will cost you about $1.70 something. So this kit is also fairly budget friendly. Everything in this kit you can get for about under $15. Rubber band is here for protection. You don't actually have to use a rubber band. It's pretty good at holding all the stuff together. This latch isn't great, but it's good enough. Oh, that's a good feeling. You might notice the money. We'll get onto that in a minute. First, allow me to present to you the dice, because of course you need dice. Why wouldn't you need dice? It's a D&D session. I only have one set of polyhedral dice. Probably good to put two sets. You could take out some stuff and finagle it around where you could fit two sets of dice. But you need dice for any RPG session. If you don't have dice, you're not playing an RPG. You're not doing anything. Get dice. Notebooks. There's actually two notebooks in here. This one is a smaller notebook for taking map notes and things like that. There's a smaller field notes size notebook at the bottom there that you can actually use for character notes and things like that. But this is a little notepad that, I told myself to take more notes, like brush more. And also I need milk. I forgot I need milk. Pens and pencils. This is a cool pencil, actually. I got this during Free RPG Day in 2015. You want to focus? There we go. I focused it myself. Free RPG Day 2015, implement of scribing +1. It's on theme. And it's a small pencil, and it fits very nicely in here. And this is just a pen with a rubber band on it. Very small, cool, space-esque pen. Sticky notes. It's always a good idea to carry around some sticky notes, either for the player manual so you can mark certain important things, or if you're using a quest manual, you can obviously mark important events or what if scenarios. Post-it notes are always insanely useful. You can also use them as monster tokens. You can put them on the board to declare traps. If you set a trap of some sort and a monster runs over it. Sticky notes are always a good idea to carry around. They're very, very useful. Deck of cards. I am a firm believer that everyone should carry around a deck of cards. And this is a deck of cards that I also got at Michael's. It's one of the cheapo decks of cards that they have at the front of the register. It costs about $2. I'm putting it in here because it is a budget-friendly deck of cards. It's not the worst deck of cards in the world. Not the greatest deck of cards in the world either. They're not air cushion finished. They're fairly plasticky. They remind me of aviator cards. It's a decent enough deck of cards. And of course, when you're playing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign or using them for Magic the Gathering tokens, it doesn't really matter how good they are. The point is they're there, and they're useful, and they're cheap. They're $2. These are little pieces of Bristol board held together with these alligator clips. Now these, I'm pretty happy about my clever brain and how I think of things. I don't often say that. Let me have this one. So these are essentially monster tokens. So there are some board games that have little cardboard stands to represent monsters and things like that. And you can kind of make your own with this. And essentially what you do is you draw a little picture. So I'm just gonna draw a beholder. Know what you're thinking? That's a pretty shit beholder. It is. And then you take these little alligator clips and you put them on the feet. And boom, you got yourself a little movable token that you can put on a game board of sorts. And you got a makeshift little monster thing going. See, it's cute. You can also draw your own character portrait, and then you have like a movable little monster thing, movable little character, so you can put onto a play area or put in the center of the table. Notebook number 2. This is a crappy notebook by a company called Ubi, which you see at Target all the time. Don't actually buy these notebooks. They're pretty awful. because for some reason they decided to put the words "today is" on top and then this little toucan thing on the bottom. And I'm not really sure why, but in this situation where I just need a notebook to take some poopy notes, I really don't care. So I'm just gonna use it as I see fit. But yeah, get like if you're willing to splurge a little bit, I would suggest a Moleskine notebook. Field Notes is pretty good. But yeah, just a notebook to keep notes in. You can also go to the dollar store and get those little small composition notebooks, although it may not fit as flush as these do. What is this, Adam? Why you string? Why you have rope? So, I broke my rubber band. I'm sad now. So this is a movement rope, essentially. As you can see, I've marked down little markings along the rope of the rope. I don't know what I'm trying to get at. The point is I made little 1-inch markings, and this is for movements. Example time. This is my character model. I call him Berenstein, the slayer of the Berenstains. Let's say this is your game board. There's no markings. It's not a graph paper, so you don't really know how far you can move. Let's say there's an obstacle. How do you get around this obstacle with your movement? Well, let's say Berenstein's movement is about 5. So he starts here, and we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we got to get around this obstacle, but if we go straight, we're hitting the obstacle. So now you know you can go here. It's a ruler. It's essentially a ruler. It's a very cheap, works in this situation. It's easy to pack and it folds in very nicely with everything ruler. And believe it or not, it's a decent idea. I've done this a few times in some RPGs, and it's a pretty good way to determine movement around a board, especially if there is no graph paper for the board. So, you know, it's there. And the money. The money. You might be wondering, what's the money? Well, this is probably one of the most important aspects of the survival kit. Anytime you build any kind of kit, whether it be this jokey kind of D&D RPG kit, or an actual survival kit, or a bug out bag of some sorts, I suggest money. I've been putting money in my bug out bags in my kits for years and years and years. So in this case, let's say you go to the card store and you realize, oh, I have to pay the parking toll, the meter toll. Well, now you have money to do that. Or you're thirsty and your throat's about to explode from extreme thirst. Well, now you can buy a soda or a coffee, because you should buy a coffee. Coffee's good. Money is always useful. Or let's say you're being really bougie and you want to use a quarter as a token. Go right ahead. You just bust out that quarter and boom, you got a monster token. Yeah, money. Just always have money in any kit like that you make, whether it be, in this case, $2, or some people I know have bug out bags with like $300 in cash just tucked away. You never know when you need it. Money is a good deterrence. It's also a good motivator. So in actual survival kits, if there's a situation where someone is trying to harm me, you could throw money at them, and that might help them go away. Now, the montage of me putting it all into the kit. And there you go. It fits nicely into the little kit. Like I said, this thing can cost anywhere from $10 to $25 to $30 if you want to put some more fancier stuff. It is a very budget-friendly way to make sure you're always prepared for any RPG session. There are some times where you're just hanging out and people want to play a game of Burning Wheel or DCC Classics or whatever RPG, and you just find yourself underprepared and you feel like you want to play. And with this, I think this might help a few people. I really wanted to do this. I had this idea floating in my head for a while, and I thought it'd be neat. And if it is, cool. If it's not, also cool. Let me be me. Shut up. I want to do stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you later in more videos, but until then, this friggin' book's heavy.